Hey, what's going on, everybody? Frank Stonks here. Nothing to say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. Gonna do a quick stream today. Just kind of cover what I'm doing with the SPY lately for the short term because of the zero DTE options that seem to be ripping everybody out of the market. It's gonna get really interesting really quick. So basically, what I've noticed is the SPY is moving on the RSI from 30 to 70, right? So this is what I'm going to do. And I've talked about it before and I didn't listen to myself. I will not buy any options unless the RSI is at 30 or 70 with the MACD in line to flip over properly. Yesterday worked really good. Really pulled some good calls on the SPY after it had dumped to 30, and that's what I'm going to do. If RSI hits 30 on the SPY, I'm going to buy calls. If RSI hits 70 on the SPY, I'm going to buy puts. Because what it looks like it is doing is they're just cycling these zero DT options daily. Look at this pattern. Puts, calls, puts, calls, puts, calls, puts. So maybe getting into some calls this morning, but I'm going to follow my rule 30-70 because it gives you way less risk in getting upside down in one of your plays. It looks like the algorithms are just playing overbought and oversold through the day. Now, if you do that, you have a good chance of at least pulling 20% to either the up or downside based on whether you're buying puts or calls at 30 or 70. You also reduce your risk of getting caught upside down. So if it's not at 30 or 70, I'm not going to buy anything. Maybe I miss a move, but I think I'll make more consecutive good wins on 2-day expiry options than trying to catch big runs, because what's going on is the zero DTE options are blowing everybody out every day. Anybody buying options out for a week or two are getting annihilated because of the way the market's moving on the algorithms, where it's moving 1% during the day or 0.5% or 1% during the day and then down 1%, and people are getting blown out. Now, right now, we're getting pretty close back to 30. So I'm going to go and set up, and this may not work every time, but I think it's going to work more often than not. But I'm going to set up and wait until this thing hits 30 on the RSI, which you're seeing now, and the MACD was actually creeping up. But this thing's getting ready. It's at 35 right now. So I'm going to look at 424 calls, 425 calls actually, because that was our last close. So SPY, 5, call, expiration. I'm going to do Monday just so we have an extra day. So that extra day gives you one opportunity to possibly save some of your money if this goes the opposite way too. Let's see, what are we pricing these at today? Let's see, we're almost at 30. We're creeping. Let's see, call 423. Let's go 424. Well, those shouldn't be the same price. That's not bad. $1.76. Oh, that's the damn 10-minute. Almost had me on the wrong one. I'm using the 5-minute for this, by the way, just so everybody understands. TMF just taking a slap in the face today. No worries, though. We got a plan for that. And sometimes it may not hit. Oversold. But right now on the 5-minute, it's sitting at 39. If I see it hit 30 or under, I'm going to buy the calls. As soon as I see it hit around 60, 65, I'm selling them. I'm not going to wait for oversold and get ripped on my options anymore because they're 2-day expiry. As soon as you're up 20, 30, 40% in, out, take the win, take the money and run. And that's it. That's what these market makers are doing with these algorithms right now, is they're blowing people out of the water with these zero DTEs. Everybody playing options out for a week or two because they're scared is getting annihilated. Good morning, everyone. Back in Florida, ready to get back to it with you. What's up, DZZ? What's up, RWK? What's up, Jason? I called TMF. A blind squirt can find an acorn every once in a while. Yeah, TMF's going to pay out eventually. It's just a matter of time. It's simply a matter of time. The worst that happens, maybe we go under $4. I don't think so because that's the NYSE listing requirement. If they do, maybe they reverse split. But highly doubtful. And like I said, there's things happening in the bond market right now. Stocks are starting to come back down. HE is just a matter of time too. It's very, very simple strategy. Buy and hold. More and more people are talking about it on Twitter. Again, bigger accounts. I started blocking a couple people that I found out were hedge fund managers harassing me on Twitter. 2 of them actually. One guy I found out works for Merrill Lynch. Why is TMF going to be expensive as hell to hold for a year? Because of the ETF fees? Somebody's talking shit about Mark on here. Mark's known for putting good companies out of business. Not a single company that I've seen Mark short this year, last year, the year before was a good company by any means. So Signature Bank and Silvergate, 2 banks caught dead to rights financing giving banking services to human traffickers, drug dealers, and corrupt politicians. Good companies. That's hilarious. All right, let's watch our plays. What's going on? I think it was D's Easy a couple days ago. Yeah, see, okay, so John DePhilip, John, the hedge fund guy tried to tell me the same thing on Twitter yesterday, and it got him blocked. Look, TMF has a small fee to hold for a year, a very, very small fee. But at the same time, you're getting a 5-cent dividend per quarter. So that fee's actually even less. It's not going to cost much to hold. It's easier to hold that than hold a short position on some of the plays that a lot of these hedge funds are holding at 100% cost to borrow. 2 to 3% a year to maintain an ETF, that's no different than somebody owning a 401k and paying a fee on it. Spencer, absolutely correct. I've got a scalping strategy with options, and I'm in and out of these in minutes, sometimes under a minute. Yeah, 20, 30%, man, just out. Don't wait for the big moves because they're ripping the big moves out from under everybody. And my dog's barking again at the hot air balloons. Who in the heck would have thought we would be in the situation 3 years ago? It's tragedy. We need real leadership in America. Absolutely. Man, looks like Bank of America might be the next one to fall. Good. Fuck Bank of America. They are the worst bank ever in history. They ripped so many of my soldiers off where we were deployed in Iraq. I'm going to deal with this dog. Why do you bark at the hot air balloon? Yeah, I'm a little weird about vibes. Well, it's going to get weirder for the dogs because we're getting closer to Hot Air Balloon Festival, and now we've got hot air balloons with faces and tentacles and shit on them. So my dog's having what could be considered an acid trip for a human. Spencer Bach Prometheus Investment Hedge Fund. Nothing would make me happier than to see BOFA go down. Yeah, so BOFA, we would deploy. My soldiers would have money in their bank accounts, but use a different. Started going to the credit unions, right? We would get home, and Bank of America would find a way to overdraft their account. They would charge some random fee. They would get overdrafted, and then they would fee them for an entire year while they didn't have any idea it was happening. They'd come home to like $3,000 in overdraft fees. So we went literally to the bank, and the colonel or our base commander blacklisted Bank of America after we deployed. We should have sued them. The entire time we were in Iraq, they were just ripping soldiers off. But yeah, the whole theory that the the the, the three guys I blocked on Twitter, I'm just gonna show you who they are. These guys were asshats. I say don't block anybody. These guys are 100% hedge fund dudes. Guaranteed hedge fund dudes. They hated me when I was talking AMC and how to trade it and how to swing it. They hate me now that I'm talking TMF because we are in close to the bottom of the market for bonds, and they're short the treasuries. They don't want people talking about TMF and TLT and giving support to the treasury market. Let's see. Security, privacy, blocked. I don't know how many people I've got blocked now, but I don't. This guy, non-stock bets, is either one of the people who hate me in the AMC community, Ape Radio guy, Ethan, I don't know. This guy's annoying as hell. All he does is like, Spence, you called that wrong. You called that wrong. But he never says anything about all the wins that we've made. Plums for sale year round. This guy's just an absolute moron. He's got to be a hedge fund dude. And it looks like now that I've blocked these guys, they've changed their user ads. They have. They've changed their user ads. One guy was named like Yusha something, and he worked for Merrill Lynch, and they know I figured it out, and they changed their names. I'm guessing it was this guy. Oh, here we go. Here's more. Here they are. Boer Stearns, absolutely a hedge fund guy. Fake Spence. Chris Taya. This guy, absolutely a hedge fund guy. 100% hedge fund guy. I looked him up. And went to LinkedIn. Same name. First name that pops up is a Merrill Lynch exec. So these guys are really pissy, and DZZ called it, man. I don't know why they're following me. I'm not making life-changing trades. We're just making decent little trades on this. Maybe that's it, too. And I know I've been mass reported because I went to use my LinkedIn the other day. Again, somebody mass reported when I tried to get my LinkedIn reactivated. Somebody mass reported it, and my LinkedIn that I've had for over 15 years has been deleted. Completely erased. So, one of Bank of America main U.S. offices used to be the tall building on the corner of Central and San Mateo. I knew BOA was in trouble 4 years ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bank of America's a dumpster fire, bro. I can't believe people still actually bank with them. But like I tell everybody, and I've been saying it for years, and it's the only thing I'll agree with Bigums on is go to credit unions. Use local credit unions. These big banks, all of them are screwed. And I'll tell you what, the biggest problem is they're using your money to meet their margin requirements. Your money goes into their accounts. They put it on their books to meet their margin requirements, and they could be betting against the own money. They could be betting against your own money that they're using. Matt Gaetz struck a blow for the American people, like you said, Spence. Build a bulletproof state and go from there. Gaetz is our district rep in Florida 1. Bulletproof state. I like that. I like it. Fix your government from the ground up. As at Brandon. I don't know why you do not come up as many times as I retweeted you. As many times as I've retweeted you, you should pop up. That's a great quote, man. That's some goddamn Benjamin Franklin stuff right there. All right, let's pay attention here. It looks like the SPY may tick down. I bet you we'll play this for a couple weeks. We'll hit the 30s and 70s, and then suddenly the whole pattern will change. But TMF is picking up big time on a lot of accounts, and everyone's talking bonds. They're 500 billion short in U.S. Treasuries. But then on the other side, you have people like Burry, who's 1.6 billion in puts on the overall market. And the reason I don't hype it every single day is because we don't need to. 1 to 2 year hold on TMF, you pay 2% a year, maybe, but you're getting 5-cent dividends as you wait. And as the price increases on TMF, boom, 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 boom. Well, TMF has, if it goes below 4, they could get a delisting requirement, but then they would just reverse split. But the problem is, if they reverse split, I'll get out. The problem is, I don't think they want an ETF as big as that talking about delisting and reverse splitting, because those ETFs bring in a lot of money for the market. If people get afraid of ETFs and run away from ETF market, that's not good. But again, it's probably a short attack. I mean, that to me looks like a short attack pre-market. How much volume? 611,000. Probably a mil in volume. I bet you we get a mil or so in volume back. Well, I mean, but look at that. There's 11 mil right at open. So maybe a mil and a half in pre-market, dumped it that much, and then 11 mil in volume came in, which looks to be on the buy side. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's all on the 9 mil in vol on the buy side. So this is probably going to recover right past that today. That could have been somebody shorting, then dumping in on a cover. So we potentially could see this go pretty high pretty soon. TMAF has stayed before. I got you. Okay, I wasn't clear. They can get a 1 year extension like high crop. Yeah, they'll get an extension. Reverse splitting an ETF like that is, you can't, if TMF reverse split, then TLT would have to reverse split. And they're not going to do that. They're at 84 bucks, which is still, I think TLT's all-time low. And that's what the thing is, guys. This play here, we're working with all-time lows. Nobody knows how low it's going to go. But now that we are at all-time lows, you have a better chance, in my opinion, of this being the bottom of the market. And I'm not telling you to buy or sell or nothing, but if this is the bottom of the bond market, that's a big deal. Because it's everybody's dream to get in that bottom. And we have an opportunity to do that. And especially with this one, with 500 billion in shorts on it. And actually, I'm going to load a little bit right now. Trade. I said anything below 450. So I'm going to go ahead and buy like $1,500 worth. Lower my cost average just a little bit. Leave me some money to play around with. Beautiful. All right, it's in. $1,500 more worth of TMF. I am now up to, what am I up to? The glorious thing about it is you can hold it as long as you want and pay 2%. Potentially, the dividends cover your fees as TMF say comes back to $5 to $10 range, and they could potentially increase the dividend a little bit. So, activity, did it fill? What is going on here? Oh, I missed trash day. That's all right. I don't think I got filled. 414. I don't think I had much trash anyways. Here comes the SPY. Come on, baby. Come down. We need 419 bounce for 30. Well, let's say here. It, it looks like it wants to come down. If I see it hit 30 or a little lower, right around those ranges, I'm jumping in on the calls. And I think D's Easy was talking about waiting 15 minutes into the market, which seems to be, it's the first thing I thought about. That seems to be a good strategy with these zero DTE plays that are going on. So, speaking of that, I'm going to start averaging into TMF today. There you go, bud. Love Matt Gates. Coke was the safest, highest paying short this past week. Yeah, it's funny because what's his name? From the Bear Cave, Edwin Dorsey called it. People thought he was crazy. I mean, he called it good. I'm actually thinking at looking at Comcast because when I switched my internet over and I called them and said, "Hey, I want to cancel my services," the customer service rep was like, "Yeah, we're losing customers left and right, bro." He's like, "And the managers won't let us do anything." So I actually thought about taking a short out on CCZ, Comcast, because Starlink and this new T-Mobile service, man, the 5G home wireless internet in the inner cities, it's $30 a month guaranteed for life if you are a T-Mobile customer. You can't beat that. The rep was like, dude, we're trying to tell our managers and our supervisors that we're losing customers and there's nothing we can do about it. And he said they don't care. They're just closing their doors on them. 5 years ago, B of A would not let me close my account and withdraw $6,000. They threatened to call the police. I even called ahead to have my cash ready. They ended up not calling the police. Yeah, they did that in 08 too. They did it in 09. They did it to us in 05 where they were not letting people withdraw cash. Bank of America is probably more than likely so upside down and over leveraged over the years that there's no way for them to get out of this. And I think they are setting up, the market is setting up for a couple banks to just implode on themselves. See, and this is where it's not going to be fun is the waiting game. As soon as I talked about 3070, then they started pushing the SPY down in pre-market. But if this thing runs back up to here, say it runs to 425 and it hits 70, then we'll just buy puts. But right here in the middle ranges, that's where they want everybody to load up so they can move it the opposite way of the load. And I've seen it happen for weeks now. So I'm going to be patient, keep waiting, and we'll see what happens. The 15-minute wait when market opens has really helped. Wait, can you say that the 30 dial? So no, not for Starlink. T-Mobile, if you're a T-Mobile customer and you want to be in like at least a decent city so your signal's good, I switched to their 5G home internet. It's plug and play. It's a little box. You plug it in the wall. You link your phone to it. And you have 5G unlimited, no data cap, no speed cap internet for $30 a month with T-Mobile. And that's lifetime. Cancel anytime you want, but the $30 a month is lifetime. There's no rate hikes. And I've been streaming everything on it. I think my computer just got used to the bandwidth probably about 10 minutes ago, so the beginning of the stream was a little fuzzy. But I was streaming Netflix, I was streaming YouTube, I was streaming Hulu upstairs, and every TV looked really good. I'm super, super happy with it because I was paying $80 to $90 a month for Xfinity. I canceled that shit yesterday, and I'm taking that equipment back today. So, I'm saving $50 a month on my internet bill now. That's all I've been doing this month, guys. Make sure you go double check your insurances. Auto insurance, especially USAA, had rate increases nationwide. They did a third party analysis, and the third party told USAA they need to raise everybody's annual mileage up to at least 9,999, because during the pandemic people lowered their mileage, and insurances lowered their mileage, right? So you paid less. After pandemic, they're saying now everybody's driving more, which is probably true. But say I only drive like 3,000, 5,000 miles annually. I don't drive much. So they raised mine to 9,000 or 10,000 miles a year, and I was paying $30 more a month for that. So one, right there, they raised rates across the board. Check your auto insurance. Make sure they didn't do that to you. Two, home insurance rates went up across the board because of cost to rebuild. So you need to call your home insurance, and you'll see it on your mortgage. You'll notice your escrow gets a little messed up. Call your home insurance and do an insurance audit and make sure they're not overvaluing your house too much for the rebuild. They tried to tell me they had to move my rebuild cost up $30,000. And I told them, no freaking way, no way does it cost $30,000 more dollars to build my house today than it did 6 months ago. No way. Prices actually came down. So what's going on is insurance companies are trying to price gouge everybody to get their money back from all the insurance claims of the hurricanes, the fires, the theft, everything that's been going on lately. 75 with Spectrum. Target, new 52-week low. Oof. Ex-girlfriend from high school works for Bank of America in Albuquerque. She has told me that they are in serious trouble for the last 4 years. Yeah. People have been saying it for a long time. Let's check the stock. What's Bank of America doing? $25. Nothing but a downtrend. What's MCB doing today? Apparently, two executives sit down 6%. Two executives resigned from MCB yesterday. Fuck. Knew it. I feel like I'm gonna miss these bank shorts, but getting in right now is, after a 6% drop, spooks me a little bit. Here comes the TMF recovery. Come on, SPY. I'm nervous to get into any big short positions again right now because I'm so heavy in TMF. I don't want a short to ruin my TMF play, because if TMF does squeeze because shorts get caught in the bond market, if TMF squeezes and it was running $55 normally, $100 on a squeeze could be a potential. Nobody's taking loans out, guys. The banks are going to report awful earnings. Nobody's taking out loans. They can't afford anything. People are just trying to put gas in their car and food in their stomachs right now. And then they're getting hit by insurance. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, Walmart's closing down a bunch of stores. Ho, baby. Missed the shorts today. It looks like the stocks are all finally correcting. The problem is the SPY needs to come down too. The indexes are overinflated compared to the stocks. This reminds me of 2021 when stocks were dumping and the SPY would just remain the same, and the indexes, everybody's like, well, how are the stocks dumping but the indexes are staying up? I'm going to stick with my original plan. I'm not going to jump into any crazy shorts. I want to short MCB again. Maybe if this thing comes back up into out of oversold, maybe I'll take a small short on it, but missed it today, man. It's hard to time individual stock options now. It's really hard to time them. QQQ downside, protecting your longs. Yeah. I should have bought puts on the or calls on the SPY yesterday when we peaked right here, but I didn't have money in my account. I called PJ and I was talking to her and I said, I want to buy, or I'm sorry, yeah, right here. I was like, I want to buy calls right here or puts right here for tomorrow. Because the RSI hit 70. So I was going to buy puts, didn't have the money. And now look, we woke up and this thing is in the dirt. So as soon as this thing comes back down into the 30 range, because the next gap fill on the SPY is 393, 400, 394, 395. That is a long drop for the SPY. Maybe a little gap right here, I think. Yeah, maybe a gap right there, we'll say. 405. Could gap down to 405. We'll see, though. After a day like today on Friday, I see the market trying to spin back up. Oh, Space does have a flight today. Good point. They're doing some good things, man. 5 consecutive flights. If this one is a good and a go and everybody's safe, that's 5 consecutive space flights in a row. Clear skies here at Spaceport, New Mexico. It's absolutely amazing what they're doing. I cannot believe the stock is at a buck 60, 80, whatever. It's just silly. Remove before space flight. I love it. I love what they're doing. I should go work for them. I should go get a job with them. Just work down there like 3 months out of the year or something, doing something simple. I'm sure they hire contractors for certain things. Would you quit your grumbling, please? Dude, they're out there every day. I know, they look like floaty demons. I know. Oh, poor Baba. They look like floating demons, don't they? Oh, you poor boy. Oh, you poor boy. Here comes the SPY. I'm talking 420 bounce again. If it triple bounces 420 on that gap fill, I think that's going to signal some upside for sure. 420 has been a 418, 419, 420 range. That's been a gap for a while. I got shitty Comcast. I'm probably switching to TDS today. $30 a month for faster internet, no brainer. Yep. See, like in Michigan, very rural. We have horrible internet there around Gladwin, Midland, but now they have Starlink. My mom got Starlink. It's a little more expensive. Works great. She loves it. 110 bucks a month. She's like, it's so worth paying 110 for internet that works instead of 60 for internet that doesn't work. And Starlink is now available in Best Buy. The kits are available at Best Buy. You're going to start seeing Starlink really pick up. And it would be perfect if Musk came out with an IPO for Starlink directly on the backside of this market recovering. It would be brilliant. He could open Starlink up. If Starlink comes out, I'm buying as much as I can. I don't care about the price. They're going to make more money than God. They're going to Starlink and T-Mobile, which T-Mobile and Starlink have teamed up. T-Mobile phones are going to be Starlink accessible. They're going to make more money than exists. And he's building the internet in space. I mean, nobody's going to be able to compete. The cable commercials, just like DVDs and VHSs and cable television, they're starting to go out of service, man. I said years ago that all TV would go to the internet, and it is. And like right now with Hulu, if you get the Hulu plan with no ads, it's 24 bucks a month. You can get ESPN, Disney, Hulu, like everything. It's crazy. I wish T-Mobile had a deal with Hulu instead of Verizon, but with Hulu you can get UHD Netflix for $7 a month. So that's not bad. Or with T-Mobile, you can get Netflix for $7 a month with the deal. So if you have T-Mobile, go download the T-Mobile Tuesday app. It's stupid what they're doing. T-Mobile Tuesday app. You can also go in and they have T-Mobile Dining. You can put your credit cards or your debit card in and register them with T-Mobile Dining. And then it gives you a list of restaurants that you get 10% cash back on Tuesdays and 5% cash back every other day, as long as you use the cards that you registered. It's awesome. My mom lives in the woods on 70 acres off a dirt road with a mile-long driveway. Really pretty place, really beautiful, but they have no good internet there. So they bought Starlink at my advisement, and they absolutely love it. They were concerned about how expensive it was at first, but she's like, just having internet that actually works is worth it. This is a new TikTok trend. Watch out for this, everyone. These bartenders are streaming live at the bar, which is stupid. Just so they can make a little extra money, thinking they're going to get, content. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. This is video evidence of you drinking at a bar and then leaving. Meaning, if you jaywalk, if you get in a fight, if you decide to drive, if you do anything, that will be used against you in court. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. These bartenders need to stop doing it. These bartenders are not going to be famous. They're literally putting their customers at liability, at legal risk, so they can have a little bit of extra revenue on their TikToks. Stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Come on, Spy, go down. See, now that I'm doing 30/70s, it's going to tease me. But MACD is ticking down, so that's good. This hot air balloon's got a picture of a big buffalo on it. You guys have fun? You have a good time, everything, stuff you can't comprehend. I guess people do it too. I'm gonna post this on Twitter. Oh God, that's gonna be a long week with Balloon Fiesta in town. All right, should be loaded. Sometimes I don't even see my own tweets on Twitter now, like under my own feed. It's so weird. But my mortgage company is cool. They sent me 2 free tram tickets for my year anniversary, which is nice. A lot of mortgage companies don't do that, so I'll have to remember to refinance with them. A lot of stocks are back to 08 levels. There's a lot of stocks that are way overinflated still, too. It's pretty wild, man. I mean, it's going to be pain for a while, you guys. We're in the nexus of the market where the Fed has no clue what the fuck they're doing. They're raising rates, then they're not raising rates, then they're cutting, then they're not, then gas is up, gas is down. We're in the political nexus of a market crash event. So if it does, we're just trying to figure out what bottom is. The problem is TMF and space are already at rock bottom levels. That's what's crazy. Oh, come on, SPY. Don't tease me. We may not get a SPY position today. I'm telling you right now, guys. If it's not at 30, I'm not buying calls. If it's not at 70, I'm not buying puts. Because as soon as you're like, okay, well, it looks like the longer week run looks like more downside, they'll shoot this thing right up. I mean, right here at 45, or what was that, 30, 32? Probably should have pulled the trigger right there because I was messing around outside, but I really want to stick with my buy zones at 30 and 70. I don't want to play any games. Because if this does run today and takes off and hits 70, then I just buy puts for Monday. That simple. Maybe Tuesday. If we're going through a weekend, maybe do a 3-day option. But if I have 2 days during the week, then I'll do 2 days. And look, if it hits 30 and runs 20, 30, 40% on some upside, and RSI, let's say this. If we make a good buy at 30 or lower, and I see RSI hit 60, I'm out. I'll take 40% for the day. $200 to $300 every week, something like that. So girlfriend's texting me. One sec. One of the balloons outside has a face of a giant buffalo on it. The other one had tentacles. So almost guarantee you with the way people have been acting lately, unfortunately, you'll see news on Twitter about a balloon crashing this week or something. Since my dogs want to act like wild animals or barking robots, I'm going to call them Doggo Unit 1 and Doggo Unit 2 from now on. They think they're in the anime Evangelion. I mean, if you were a dog and you saw a hot air balloon floating over you with tentacles, I would probably assume you would think that was some sort of biblical angel. That's funny. So now we be patient, ladies and gentlemen, we be patient. I mean, this is what they do, guys, right here. Sorry if this is loud, but these, it's good though because they do protect the house, which is a good thing. I'll turn the volume down a little bit. See how they destroy my yard?
Great. Now they have faces. You don't even know what you're barking at, Karen. Karen.
I guess that's a good thing. Hey, not in the house. No. Are you on 5-minute chart for SPY? Yes. I'm going to stick with the 5-minute. I mean, the 10-minute looks really good for some upside. 15, I'm not sure. That's starting to curve a little bit on the 15. And I would rather, right now, it's not in range for me to buy anything. So I'm going to stick with my plan because we will see 30 to 70. Michigan to New Mexico. What was the impetus for the move? The U.S. military, my brother. Join the military. My first trip to basic was Oklahoma, stationed in Virginia, met one of my best buds in the Army, got stationed in Texas. He was like, hey, man, let's go to New Mexico and visit my family. All right, dude. Like, he didn't want to drive home by him. It was a long drive. So we sang Tenacious D the whole way there. Got my first green chili, got my first green chili stew, my first burritos. And then he lived in Los Alamos. So driving through New Mexico, through Texas, in through Albuquerque, which was really small at the time. Albuquerque was nowhere near this size, but it was still fun. Driving up through the mountains in Santa Fe into New Mexico through the Jemez and all that was beautiful. I mean, the first time you see it, you absolutely fall in love with it. And then I met a girl. Yeah. And then I got deployed twice. We were in love, got deployed twice. Then she hated me. And then we moved back to New Mexico, had a baby. Then I got a really good job in Huntsville, Alabama, working basically with the government, doing every helicopter known to man, making a ton of money. And then she hated me even more, and she went back to New Mexico. So there you go. I finished my job contract out, went back home in Michigan and reset for a year or two. The pandemic hit, and then moved back to New Mexico. So I don't get the dump on a Novix. Gen 1 battery was never the plan. I've researched it. I'm trying to figure out the negative reaction. Look, man, people love to attack Mark's picks. They love to attack Mark because he is upsetting the industry. That looks like consolidation, though, no? I'm going to buy a small call position on Enovix. The whole market's getting hit right now, you guys. Like, Enovix is a long-term play. They still have to get into full production, but I'm going to go ahead and buy a small call option on Enovix right now. Let's look at the daily. Where's the gaps? Is there any gaps? There's a gap. And it's fighting right off of its all-time low bottom. Let's just do 1123. Let's do $11 calls. Quantity 20 call. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do a few weeks out. October 20s. 10s. 55 cents a share. Cash. 500 bucks. Potential for it to go boom boom. RSI in the daily is through the floor. If we have any positive market sentiment, and I do think the SPY will eventually have to gap back up to fill certain ranges. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's do 11s. If the SPY runs and the market runs, then we'll have an overall stock. Yeah, I'm going to nail it. I'm going to do October 20, $11 calls for 30 cents a share. Look at that bottom on that thing, man. Look at that. What a nice channel with a gap fill. It could go lower. I don't know. Every stock can go lower, but I mean, this could be shorts getting ready to cover out on that position too. They've got other plays going on, but I'm telling you, Mark stirs up serious business and he calls people out and they don't like it and they go after his longs. We've proved that. We've seen Mark's shorts and his longs get smoked, and he's real patient and he says these guys are messing with us, and then suddenly, boom, you see it spring right back up. So 650 was the all-time low, so you risk more downside, which it looks like they're trying to push it to according to this falling wedge, but the market has been getting annihilated for the past couple weeks. If next week we see the SPY kind of trick back up to this upside here, let's say this thing decides to come back up and work towards this gap fill to 430, 435, 436, the entire market's going to spring back. And then I think when they do that, then they're going to go ahead and just throw this thing into a death spiral for Christmas because bank earnings will be bad. So small call position. Not going to post my call positions, my dates on there. But yeah, guys, buying and holding stock right now, if you believe in Innovix, buying at $9 is a fucking dream come true, okay? At least the dogs will alert you when UFOs land. Bro, if UFOs land, I'm going to cook them some freaking fajitas. We're going to have some cervezas. I'm going to be like, look, guys, we got some things we need to take care of that I need your help with. Like, we got these rogue politicians. Like, maybe they can make a methadone laser. You can shoot people with a methadone laser to sober them up. The crackheads living at the bus stops out here. Dude, if you guys want to see an NPC give the ultimate quest, I think I posted it last night. Oh, here, go to this video on my YouTube. This dude, this cat's tripping at a bus. This is Albuquerque, man. These bus stops are wild, and uh, where's my shorts? This dude is like the worst NPC in history. This quest he's trying to give you, you walk by, hello, fellow traveler. This dude's tripping, some kind of balls, or he's mentally ill. I don't know. I feel like I want to try to help him, but you try to help these folks, man. Next thing you know, you got a knife in you. I thought about trying to potentially find that dude, man, but like I said, you go to try to help some of these folks and they'll stab you right in the back, man. HE got that good Heisenberg plug. SPY is doing what's been doing all week. Down 420, then up. Yep, that's it, man. RWK, that's it. And that's what we're talking about, bro. 3070. If I see this thing, well, there it goes. So today, when it hit 32 earlier, maybe, well, I guess that was 36. Maybe we should have got in, but 30.70. I'm not risking any downside. If this thing runs and hits 70 today, I'll buy puts, probably for Tuesday. And if it dumps back down 20% before that, boom. So 15 minutes in, though, 30 minutes in, it's moving. So people right here, they're like, you know what? It looks like it wants to go down. I'm going to buy puts, and then they rip you right out of them. So we are getting closer. We're 57, 60 on RSI. As soon as this thing pegs 70, I'm looking at puts now. So we'll have to just sit here and be patient. HE is running with the SPY, which is really weird. TMF's starting to do it too. Usually these types of stocks won't run with the SPY. It's absolutely crazy. That's true. All the people that worship Che these days now, he would have executed in his time. Mark's getting busy again, guys. What is OSTK at right now? Back to 17. Shit. Missed that one. I was looking at it yesterday. Up 8% today. Ugh, bastards. Damn. Well, I mean, if that's running, then potentially a Novix will probably get some gap up too. Overstock is going to be a phenomenal company in time. I mean, a really phenomenal company. It's a tough market right now, guys. But I've been through this before with AMC. I mean, hell, people held AMC for 2-3 years longer, holding TMF for 6 months to see what happens, especially with the information we have. Serious business. TMF coming back up. This thing should really run off of the volume that came in, especially if the SPY recovers. Man, are they literally gonna keep me between like 60 and 40 now that I'm doing 30 and 70s? Right here is where people are starting to talk about puts, and we'll get a red candle or whatever, and it'll make people like, oh yeah, puts are gonna print, and then boom, it runs, goes back to where it hit its high during pre-market. As soon as it hits that 70 mark, put time. So I'm gonna have to stay and pay attention for a while. What are your thoughts on RKLB? I don't even know what that is. Rocket Labs? I don't. Rocket Lab USA. I don't really know anything about it. Look, guys, in the next 5 to 10 years, spaceflight is going to be a very, very big deal. We don't even know the full usages of commercialized spaceflight yet. But if they get it, first drones were never going to work, and now we have drones everywhere. If Virgin Galactic can get it to where they fly people into orbit to land them in other countries, that is going to be huge, in my opinion. Or if they need to transport equipment or something from USA to Taiwan or China to Russia, whatever, man. If it's something that urgently needs to be transported and people are willing to pay millions for it, they can do that. Thinking about taking a very small position. I'll have to do more research on it, man. This ain't hard adding shares long at great discounts. Yeah. Spence already know, but I was at the Government Blockchain Association event last week in DC, and let me tell you, the government is so far behind and out of touch as it pertains to new tech. Oh, yeah, the government's horrible. That's why they hate Musk and they hate Bronson and they hate all these people doing all this big tech stuff because all the private companies doing big tech is leaving the government in the past. So, the government can't grift if Musk is out there solving problems like the border wall. If Musk fixed the border wall problem, guess what? The government politicians can't grift on it during the elections, and that's a huge moneymaker, and they don't want that. They want problems to exist. They need problems to exist. Because if they fix stuff, the less problems we have, the less you need government. The government stays funded by creating all these massive problems. Oh, yeah. Immigration in Europe is a massive issue right now. Immigration in America is a massive issue right now. Especially when people start pushing new leaders into Congress that are anti-American. Your entire culture will change. Pretty wild. What's going on in this country is pretty wild. And anybody that says, hey, this is wrong, and it is wrong to let random people into the United States without some type of wellness check, it's completely wrong. Open border mass immigration amnesty is against the law. And it's very, very dangerous. This is where they're going to spook everybody out of their calls. See if this thing hits 70. Come on, baby. This waiting game is horrible. Yeah, maybe we should have tagged them at 32. That is 36. That's still too high. I'm going to stick exactly with my plan. 30-70. Not moving from it. Create the problem, grift the solution. That's exactly it, buddy. Do another DZZ tweet. That is a great quote there. I mean, this is the left. We need solar. We need electric cars. We need green energy. We need human rights. Musk. Okay. Here's your electric car. Here's your green energy. Here's your human rights ideas. Hey, let's become multiplanetary. We hate Elon Musk because he said he's not voting Democrat this year. I mean, that's it. They wouldn't listen now. They're all up in arms. Yep. It's nationalist versus socialist globalists is exactly what it is. And people are starting to see it. A lot of people are wondering, why are we funding every other country on the planet? Why? I agree we need to help fund some countries that are our allies. But this thing with Ukraine, this is not right. Funding and sending weapons into Ukraine, this is what the UN is for. And Trump nailed it when he said, we pay more fees than any other nation into the UN and we get treated the worst. The only reason Putin invaded Ukraine was because of Joe Biden, right? And they wanted him to. It's a money laundering scam. And the biggest problem is that Trump literally kept Putin where he needed to be respectfully with just talking. Biden is spending hundreds of billions of dollars on this, and Trump was like, hey, don't invade Ukraine. Ukrainian president, do the right thing and find out what the Democrats are doing in your country. They tried to prosecute Trump for that because they knew Ukraine was going to be a multi-billion-dollar money laundering scheme. And it looks like certain politicians have been skimming off the top of that. Ron Paul called it right for 40 years, man, or more. Ron Paul told everybody what they were going to do, and it happened. He basically called out 9/11. He predicted 9/11. Come on, spy. Get to 70 so I can take a position. Bastards. That would have been a nice little run today. But that's hard. Like, again, I've bought here before at this range, 60, 50 to 60, and it goes the complete opposite way. So let's get this thing. I want to see it peg at least. I'm going to give myself just a little room. We'll say if it's like 68, something like that, I'll start looking. But it looks like it's going to peg up to 70. I want to see it hit 70, take out the puts for. I will do Monday today because this looks like I'll be out before Monday. Options. SPY. You might not hit every move, but you will hit solid moves consecutively. October. Well, I can do 0 DTE on Fidelity. We'll say 4. Say 420. Who doesn't love 420? Whoa. Those are only 22 cents a share right now. Cash. Holy crap. 420 puts on October 6th or 22 cents a share. I'm going to stick with my plan, though. I'd rather win 3 times a week than win 3 times a week and lose 3 times a week. So, well, now those things are valuing up quick. 23 cents. This is where they always trick me. If I buy right here, the next thing you know, we get a couple green candles. Boom, boom, boom. And MACD is still looking strong. What's the 1 minute doing? The 1 minute's probably just cooling off. 1 minute hit 70. It's cooling off. See RSI curve up and hit the 5 minute on 70. We're only a little bit away. See, this is why you can't use the 1 minute. Look at the RSI in the 1 minute here at 421 was nearly at 70. Then it went down to 420, right? And the RSI was at 59 or 50, 30, 40, sorry, 40. And then it rocketed up. So I'm looking short-term 1 minute to figure out what's going on, which it looks like it's going to tick back up. 5 minute, when it hits 70, we'll pull the puts. And that way we get the best possible entry based on the chart, instead of people like, oh my God, look at, I'm going to buy puts right here because it's 70 on the 1 minute or the 3 minute, and then they get ripped. And then they're waiting, and then they got to hold and try to salvage their position. And we can do this every day. Let's go. Come on, SPY. Just can't get distracted. Hell, Rand Paul. If he would have had a better campaign manager, he may have won. I remember when he ran back in the day, and he wore that like really bad old-fashioned Southern like plaid carpet suit, and his hair was all just. It wasn't a good look. He really made himself look derpy on stage. You really have to play the part. You have to have good socials. You have to play the part. You can still be a responsible politician and be popular in socials. And they tried to kill Rand Paul 3 fucking times, all Democrats. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about how a Democrat shot up everybody on the baseball field in Congress. how his Democrat neighbor broke his ribs, or he was assaulted in the streets after a DC event. They've tried to kill Rand Paul 3 freaking times, and he still goes to work, man. It's just wild. Let's see here. Come on, SPY. I'm going to stay patient, man. If it doesn't give me my ranges, I'm not buying. It's just such a good way to prevent loss in this market, this extremely daily volatile market. Here we go. Come on. Where's my RSI? Harder, Daddy. Our only hope is Logan and Jake Paul. Ha! Leverage shares 3x short Facebook Meta ETP securities. I hate Facebook. But be careful shorting Facebook into the election. The CCP loves to shove fake users on the platform, which is going to increase their ad revenue greatly. Facebook is going to get a lot of users back before this next election, okay? So be careful. I would short it after the election. The government, well, that's what I would do. You do you. I'm just saying. The government is out of touch with people. We need term limits. Major term limits and no more campaign contributions from corporations or outside influences. Campaign contributions should only come from registered voters. No more corporate campaign contributions, no more overseas contributions. They all have to be registered citizens to contribute. This raising money every year for a 2-year long election cycle is nothing but a scam. They spend more time campaigning and raising money than they do running the countries. Koch brothers have left the chat. That's funny. That's hilarious. That's true too. Come on, man. We're getting so close. Let's see what the options are priced at now. Oh, still 29 cents. 23 cents. This is where they test my patience, man. MACD's still pretty strong looking on this. It hasn't dipped, and to me, this looks like it still wants to go up. Come on, baby. 10, 15 minutes of kind of sideways consolidation, and then boom. Back to where we hit 425. We get anywhere in this range, and of course RSI would be at 70 there. That's where I'm going to try to load puts. If you guys want to try something interesting too, I'm going to tell you right now, go to your grocery store, buy the new Pringles Harvest Pringles, Harvest Blend Pringles. The sweet potato sea salt Pringles are absolutely like crack. They are so incredible. I want to get another can and crumble them up and make some freaking fried chicken with it, man. They're so good. And I noticed as soon as I bought some, I said, "Yeah, they're gonna quit selling these cheap." The price went from $1.90 to like $2.50. Come on, baby. I'm cheering for upside, even though I'm not on the upside. I know as soon as I buy puts right now, this thing's gonna rip up $1. 24 cents. But if we can do this once a day, I don't know, maybe not. We may not get 70. Watch them now that now I'm calling 30 and 70. They won't put it to those ranges. They'll keep it between like 60 and 40. Sticking to my guns, man. Just like TMF and HE, sticking to my guns. I don't even care. Once this market cools off and the election's over, HE comes out and says we're reinstituting a 30-cent dividend. This thing will shoot through the roof. TMF, whenever the Fed decides to quit effing with people nonstop. And the Treasury shorts, 500 billion or more in Treasury shorts, guys, from hedge funds. This is the banks and the hedge funds doing an OA all over again because they know they're screwed. They're trying to find a way to make up the big bag that they're holding. Check on HE. I haven't been checking any HE news lately. Bastard, come on. Parent company HE declared it will continue paying brief dividends. Whoa. October 3rd. Latest. Way too many bot accounts with HE. This is all just crap. These are all just top analyst price targets. Come to my Discord. I fucking hate Discords. That's why I don't have one. Because Discord people come on and they pollute the Twitter space with their grifting, man. I will never pay for a Discord. I may just have to set a price alert and wait and see what happens. Because it doesn't look like we're going to get 30 or 70 today. Which is fine. That means we don't lose any money on making the wrong play. I guess, though, if I would have watched... See, even watching the MACD here on the 5-minute this time would have been a disaster. Because it was ticking up and then down. Oh, my God, puts, it's going down. And then boom. Crazy run. Let's see, one more pop. If it pops up, my price alert will hit, and I'll know to buy. Oh, I want to be Tulsi Gabbard's Poo Boy too, bro. She's fine. And she's awesome. Her Democrat Party hates her. She's the only, like, she's a actual Democrat. The government is so out of touch with people. We need term limits. Absolutely. Absolutely crazy. If you guys could, please make sure you like the video. Really appreciate it. Since I'm just sitting here waiting, not really anything left to talk about for the morning, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Again, if I see the SPY hit 70 on RSI, I'm grabbing some puts as long as the MACD looks right, and I'll probably do it for Monday or Tuesday. And if we go to 70 and then I pull 20-30% to the downside before close, which the market usually likes to sell off on Friday, then I'm out before close and I pull $500 for the day. So y'all take care. I'm going to see if I can roll my windows up now and start cooking some breakfast and see if my dogs can maintain themselves without having an aneurysm. So y'all take care. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, guys. Froggy Stonks out.